and welcome. You are listening to episode 92 of the Nearly Men Video Games podcast, coming to you live on Twitch from Scotland on Thursday the 29th of July 2021. My name is Paul Kaczynski, and joining me today is none other than Colin Little!
Ahoy hoy.
And of course, Blunderboy87!
Thought that would go away by now, really.
And together we are the Nearly Men, and this episode of the podcast is brought to you by executive producer Hamster Boy. Mr. Producer. We have nothing to do with the video games industry. We don't make them, we don't sell them, and we're not particularly good at them. We are the Nearly Men, and at some point you've probably kicked our asses online. Look who's back! Back again! Little's back! Tell a friend!
Oh yeah, I'm back.
All right,
I'm
mate.
back.
All right. We're Brady Bunching. We're Brady Bunching it. Come on. All right, Colin.
Hey,
Hi, Colin.
You're this way. Oh, hello.
All right.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hey. What blunder?
Hi.
Colin's
Hi.
back.
I'm back.
Finally.
Stuck in the middle with you two.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but is this not the first time the three of us have been together for a long time?
For like a month.
Because I think
Aye.
before the last podcast, I was on holiday,
Aye.
and
the
then
Wednesday
one
cover.
before that
For
one,
that, I was away.
He was in the
Blunderboy.
Randan.
aye.
And that was like the 24th of June. So yeah, it's been a month.
a
been a while.
whole month, a whole month. There's
I
a few
cannot
happy
believe-
birthdays in the chat for Blunderboy. Happy birthday, Blunderboy!
Oh, thank gang.
Happy
his
birthday!
Wait, you get
to
DMCA'd?
you. Oh, hi.
You have to do the weird American version.
Did
Which
you get a
was
DMC for
December.
happy birthday?
Yeah, that's so. Like, well, it's an American thing, but because it's a global, technically it's a global podcast, you could still get done in. So that's why if you go to restaurants in America, they do the weird happy birthday sort of thing because
You're the
they-
birthday, you're the
Aye,
birthday.
yeah, they
birthday
do
boy or
for weird
girl.
versions because whoever owns Happy Birthday in America can sue restaurants for singing Happy Birthday.
We don't we don't usually mention what is happening in chat generally. We try to avoid that to keep the flow of it. But we're actually on a hype train because of all the resubs and all that. So thank you very much,
All the
everyone.
beautiful love.
Get your hypes going and get your emotes.
Thanks.
Um,
Let's just shout thanks now.
just shouting thanks.
Right,
Just thanks.
hold on, Phil. I forgot to do something. Phil, dance, sing. Aye.
Phil
Phil who? Phil Mitchell?
Phil Mitchell, Phil and Grant Mitchell, Peggy Mitchell, Sharon Mitchell,
You know
Ben-
a lot about EastEnders.
Ben Mitchell.
Ben Hur?
I think that's
Let's do,
Ben
let's do-
Hur.
let's do
Ben
like a
Hur.
7 degrees. So Ben Hur, Ben Nevis, Ben Loch Lomond,
What-
Loch Ness Monster. People for
Um,
Loch Ness Monster. That
you know-
film, Nessie, and there was somebody famous in that, I'm sure.
Ted
but I don't know who.
Danson. So that's Cheers. Then you've
There we
got
go.
Frasier.
Uh-huh.
Um,
And from Fraser, you can go to X-Men because he played the Beast.
of course he did. Yes,
Mhm.
you could go straight to James McAvoy, who
Uh-huh.
was also in the X-Men, and then you could go right back to Scotland.
Mhm. Or you could go back into Marvel Multiverse with Samuel L. Jackson.
Yep. With what was it called? Not Glass, the other one. He was the guy from Glass, but
Yeah, I seen it in the cinema. It was all right.
That's
I don't remember what it was called,
phenomenal. That's phenomenal
Oh.
filming, by the way. That was phenomenal filming. I was so proud of you boys. So proud of you.
I was very confused there. I thought you said it was. I thought you were saying that M Night Shyamalan film was a phenomenal film. And I was a bit like,
It was all right.
It was okay. It wasn't phenomenal, mate.
I mean, I was half tempted not to jump in and just let you keep going.
And see how far we went.
Welcome, boys. Right, let me get this back on track. Sorry about that. How are we? First of all, Colin, how are you, sir?
I'm good. Yes, good to be back. Good to be back.
Back in the chair.
Back in the chair. Yes, I had minor calamity today. My green screen broke, so we're back to the old crappy one. But it's actually it's holding up okay.
Well, there
so
you go.
That's somewhat crisis averted, rather expensive crisis, somewhat averted. But
Well, it's always brutal when you throw up your old one and you realise there's no really a difference. You've spent 160 quid for no reason, really.
Well,
You were fine with the one you had.
aye. Well, it was actually Sherry Bob, and she spent all that money because it was a birthday present for me. So
Bobby.
she's out a lot of money, and actually, that one's okay. Difference is though, she hates the look of that in the house.
There's
So,
the rub for that.
Yeah.
so she quite liked the other one because it was out of the way and all that. Whereas that just hangs up like a monstrosity.
Just you watch, by tomorrow, Sherry Bobbins will have got a master's degree in engineering and fix that green screen.
Do you know what?
Sweet.
See, if she
Aye.
does that, I would be delighted. I would be delighted if there's a green screen engineer specialist out there. Hit me up because I need it fixed.
A green screen engineer.
I mean, it's niche, but you never know. You never know.
You never
just
know.
Never know.
And Blunderboy,
Hi.
you're a whole year older from the last episode.
I know, I'm feeling it. Actually, I'm feeling it. I was out doing garden stuff today. My body's like,
That's
really? You're older now? And I'm like,
It's a flick of a switch. Suddenly the back goes. Happy
Oh,
birthday!
Thanks.
No, no belong now.
Yay. No belong now, aye. Shuffling off this mortal coil.
Wait a minute, Colin, you're older than me, and so you, Paul.
Aye, but we're
Aye,
fit.
but-
We're fit,
And the
gentlemen.
baby.
You know?
Aye, we're fit young men.
Greek
you know,
Adonises.
Blunder. You know,
Adonai.
I don't know, dude.
Age is state of mind, mate.
Exactly.
And
Check
you're
the
an
state
old,
of you.
You're an old soul.
Yes, of course, ladies and gentlemen, we are the Neil Men. It's glad to be back as a three. We love hearing from you, hearing what games you've been playing, what's tickling you in the news. Here's how you can get in touch.
Reaching the Nearly Men is easier than ever. Search for the Nearly Men Video Games podcast on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or your preferred podcast player. We stream on Twitch. Follow Colin at Colin_NM. Follow Paul at Paul Kaczynski, all one word. Follow Gary at Blunderboy87. And let's get social on Facebook as The Nearly Men, Twitter and Instagram where we are at Nearly Men, or go old school and email us on info@thenearlymen.com. Need all that again? Links are on our website, thenearlymen.com. So what are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for? Indeed, please do drop us a wee line. We love hearing from you. It's a two-way thing, this beautiful podcast thing. Two-way thing. News. There's kind of little news. Thank you for the hype train, everybody. You legends, you mental cases.
Legends.
We're going to touch on a wee bit of a news story that we hummed and hawed with, if I'm being honest. Just because we've spoken about things like this before, and often we've said, three kind of privileged white guys aren't the guys to talk about this. But as Blunderboy correctly pointed out as well, it'd be rude not to talk about it as well, as of course the Activision Blizzard stuff that's been going on. So they've walked out over harassment claims. This is from BBC News that I'm reading from. Staff at US gaming giant Activision Blizzard have staged a walkout over accusations of sexism and harassment. The company behind Call of Duty and World of Warcraft was sued last week by the state of California over alleged violations of state workplace protection laws. I mean, that's a very brief summary of what's been happening. Yeah, guys, there was a whole shebang about Ubisoft doing similar things that we kind of delved into. Was it just before Christmas? I think it was. And we basically danced around the topic, and we were a bit like, oh, we're not really the ones to go into this. Maybe other people should be the voices of this. I have to laugh though, as Ubisoft apparently kind of joined in the aren't Activision banned thing.
What?
that right?
God.
Now I don't know if it's Ubisoft as a company or whether it's the workers of Ubisoft just so happen to be labelled with the Ubisoft brand, but I did have to laugh when I saw that headline. I was like, oh no. But guys, if you guys get anything to say about it at all, I'm not putting you on the spot with it, but is there anything you want to bring up about it?
So we're not going to go into the details of the allegations. If you want to find out that, there's transcripts of the court documents that will explain the individual stuff. Some of it will potentially be quite triggering to people. It's horrific. It's absolutely horrific, the allegations. This is it's described as a frat boy sort of mentality, environment around the workplace, and the stuff that you've seen. I saw it, Kotaku have had a lot to do with the kind of, they've been leading a lot of the charge of this. They've done a lot of stuff on it. I was reading an article with Kotaku today that had found screen grabs of group chats involving high up members of Blizzard, discussing arrangements before BlizzCon for parties, and a rather revolting name that they had, a nickname for their pad and all that sort of stuff when they were staying. Eh, it's horrific. It's absolutely horrific, and the actual case itself goes on to talk about a number of women who were being delegated tasks from their superiors, basically, so their superiors could sit and play video games all day, and it became the sort of that became the go-to thing that you just dumped it on um, a junior member of staff or another member of staff, not always even a junior member of staff, and more often than not, you basically you just sat around and got a woman to do your job. Um, that seems to be the mentality that they had around this stop. Not obviously not all the employees, but a large amount of them. And this went right from the very top in a very similar way to the to the Ubisoft stuff fairly recently. Um, this doesn't seem to be more than just, this doesn't seem to be just a few bad apples. This seems to be some very bad apples right up the top, and lots of other bad apples slightly further down the tree. And it's horrific. And as a result, the Activision, because then what happened was Activision and Blizzard came out almost immediately with what was a disgraceful response, which subsequently has been tracked back a little bit and described by the head of Activision as being tone deaf. But at the time, basically, Activision blamed they, rather than trying to in any way hold their hands up or in any way accept that things haven't gone potentially correct, or the sort of usual stuff that any sort of company or personality do when they ever get caught. That sort of usual contrite, but trying not to get involved in any sort of legal speak that you get. This was a statement where they just went on the offensive, and they completely tanked any sort of sympathy that, I mean, albeit very, there's probably not a lot of sympathy for them in the first place, but anybody that might have had sympathy for them, boom, I think that went with that ridiculous thing. They've since walked that back. I know a lot of content creators have stepped away from World of Warcraft, from a lot of the Call of Duty games, and all sorts of. These are big series that Activision and Blizzard have, and a lot of content creators have stepped away. And the walkout was, there's been a signed letter. Over 2,000 members of staff have signed it about, this stuff needs to change, and I just don't know how many times this needs to go on. There was the Rocksteady one. There's been Ubisoft. There's been obviously now Activision and Blizzard, and that's it seems to be the tip of the iceberg. It just seems to be happening everywhere.
Well, I remember when we were talking about Ubisoft, we all kind of spoke about surely all these companies have got skeletons in a closet about this, and more are going to be coming forward. It seemed to kind of cool down. I don't know for what reason, if it was buried or whatever, and it's been kind of quiet for the past 6 months or so. But it's good that these people are getting a chance to speak up and put their story forward. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm sure Blunder will be talking on it in a second as well. They have stuff to say about it. But I think what we as the Nearly Men want to get on record is that we fully support the walkout. We fully support the people seeking justice for stuff like this, and fully condemn this sort of behaviour. This sort of nonsense has absolutely no place in any workplace, and video games have a hard enough time at times getting sort of the respect that they're due, and behavior like this from people involved in it does absolutely nothing. And what you're actually doing is driving incredibly talented people, whether they be in this case it seems predominantly women, but also people of other marginalized groups and minority groups within society and within the games industry, are getting pushed out, and they always have been. It seems this is not necessarily something new, But when are they going to draw a line in the sand from this? Because it's horrific. It's horrific.
Blunderboy, anything to add?
I think it's just, I agree with everything Colin said. I think it's really disheartening for video games are about to be the next step in progressive work environments. And when like reading people's statements, there's like people who like with female employees who work there just now, and like there was females who wanted to work at Blizzard going through like college and university studying to be game designers because it was the place to be. It was positive, inclusive, and then when this came out, because it's not it's just that it's historical and that, like it's disgusting them to think they want to work for a company that promoted that type of behavior, and it's really saddening. It took so long, so many years until those people affected felt strong enough to speak out. Which means it was still going up because there must have been a straw that broke the camel's back, and somebody's went enough's enough. I need to go to someone about it, and that was the fact. It's the state suing them. States never sue anyone unless they know it's airtight.
Yeah.
Like that's what I don't obviously not being American, but that's from what I've read. Everyone's like people are like this is big because they don't just go after you, and that's why Activision statement when they're like a rushed investigation, and everyone's like it's been 2 years. They've spent time investigating that, so it's just really disheartening. It's disgusting, and I'm very much I'm at that stage where I'm like, well, that's you're not in my business, and there's a few other things I've kind of cut myself off for that. Like that's like say I don't believe you should separate the art for the artist.
Yeah, but you also shouldn't be rewarding
Oh,
companies
that as well. So
for
like,
that
there's
sort
lots of
of,
other ones that have like decided not to.
And if you end up letting, what happens then is if you let companies get away with this behavior, and that's what customers can do. Customers can actually have a say, and if they go, if somebody's stock price drops or or their games stop shifting, and a lot of content streamers are not streaming their games now, then it makes a difference. But I think their first response was that they thought they were going to be able to shrug this off, and they are not going to be able to shrug this off. They should not be able to shrug this off, and this has to go. And other abusers out there in the games industry or anywhere else, if you do not know now that your time is up, then I don't know what you've not been paying attention.
Like it's very easy. If I looked as soon as I'd kind of found out, I went up to my computer and I was like, what games did Activision and Blizzard actually make?
Yeah.
I mean, I looked. I barely played any of them. But then I've got friends who play the big one, the WoW, and it must be. And I've had a few conversations with some people, and some people are like, I'm never playing it again, not until things change. I've had some people are like, I don't want to play it, and I don't want to be giving them money, but there's still people working there who are working there and putting that effort in. It's their content, and there's some people are like, well, I enjoy playing the game, so I'm going to play it. And they're like, well, because I've put years of work work into it, but like they've got a love for it, and they've got like a connection. And I'm like, as a non-fan, it's easy for me to say I'm just going to dump it. It must be more difficult for me because there's an active going things that I've enjoyed, which have then been tarnished by like the author or the creator of a show. I know I own the books and I own the DVDs. I don't need to give them any more money. I can own. I've got the stuff that supported in the past. I don't need to support them financially anymore. But I think for those people who are in that weird situation where they agree with the abuse is terrible, but they still want to play their game because they enjoy the game and they want to support the people who work there. If it's those people, I'm kind of like, oh, you're in a privileged place right now.
Especially something like WoW that's a subscription thing that people have potentially put years and years and years into. But the tricky thing as well is, the guy at the very, very top of this is the lead. He's the actual lead on WoW. It's a lot of his department.
Well, what I find suspicious is the lead who's not there anymore. He left in 2018. A bunch of them left. And the guy who was the lead started his own new studio, which was in their taglines like "Progressives are us" or something like that. And then it was almost like as soon as they left, the investigation started. And I'm like, did they leave because they knew the investigation was about to start and they were trying to protect themselves? So there's a wee bit of And I'm like, that's
don't know.
conspiracy theory territory, so just wait for
Yes,
courts to deal with it.
that's not.
But
For legal reasons, we can neither confirm nor deny that.
Yeah.
no. But
But I think you're right, though. I think it's the time's up, and I think, you know, we said it in a when it was the Ubisoft thing that companies are going to have to change their attitude to this whole thing in a big way. And who knows, maybe that's why it was quiet for a while, because they did change. Maybe there was positive change about it. But obviously these stories still exist and have existed for a long time as well. That's the thing as well. It's not just things that are happening now, it's things that have been happening for years. We could go into this all day. Sorry, Colin, you want to say something else?
Sorry, the last thing I wanted to say, and I think it will feed exactly in what you were about to say. The tricky thing is, and this is why we were a bit uncomfortable talking about this, the last thing realistically that this, and it's not quite the same, it's not actually true, because it does require it, but actually it doesn't really need men to sit and talk. Men shouldn't be sitting talking about it. If ever there was a reason or a time, lots of times it's required, men could do with actually listening instead of just talking about this. So that's part of the reason why 3 men here on the podcast feel a wee bit uncomfortable talking about it. So yeah,
I think it's important for us to be at the table, though, as men. I think, you know,
and stand up and talk about it, but we also need to listen to the voices of the people who are affected by it as well. And I think a lot of times platitudes are said and not acted upon.
Mm-hmm. But to that end, what we're going to do as the Nearly Men community is we want to steer you towards someone who's doing a good thing. And it is the beautiful MJ Play Games, and she's just came into the chat as well, which is beautiful timing, MJ.
And told me she disagrees with me. It's like, oops.
Oh, so would I. So MJ Play Games is going to be doing a charity stream. It's a 12-hour charity stream in aid of Women in Games International, and their tag is at GetWiggy. That's GETWIGI. I presume that's Twitter. Is that right? Yeah.
Yep.
And MJ is going to be doing a 12-hour stream in aid of that. And do you know, if there's anyone in our wider community, you know, that we extend our huge arms and embrace everybody who's in the peripheries of our streams, other people's streams, and all that, I think MJ is a brilliant person to go and have a voice about something like this as well. So please do. It's on Friday the 6th of August. Friday the 6th of August. So what's that? 2 weeks tomorrow? Is that right?
It's a week
tomorrow. A week tomorrow. Oh, a week tomorrow. Friday the 6th of August at 12 midday BST. She's going to be doing 12 hours. I don't know what game she's doing or what she's doing. See, that's the beauty thing about MJ. It won't just be games. It'll be other shenanigans as well, and more serious things included.
Yep. Yes, there's lots of community stuff. There's giveaways. There's loads and loads of stuff.
Yeah, so do go over, head over to MJ Play Games. MJ Play Games is our Twitch handle. Friday the 6th of August, 12 p.m. for a charity stream for Women's in Games International. And she is a lovely human being. Tommy B in the chat there is just saying she's a lovely human all round. You're right.
She is both the hero we need and the hero we deserve. That's it.
You remember the one thing I'm going to flag up about MJ to give you a tone of her character.
Yes.
One of the best things I've ever seen on Twitch was MJ's PowerPoint presentation about whether superheroes would give oral sex or not. And this was in the fallout of Batman Doesn't. So DC say she gave a very professional PowerPoint presentation breaking down all the superheroes, whether they would or wouldn't, and why.
She did.
So that gives you a flavour of her tone. She's a lovely lady. Do you want to know some Game Pass additions?
Do we?
Because as far as I know, Microsoft are all right at the moment. Well,
we believe so.
Right,
apparently they're doing something with donuts.
Donuts?
I don't know if Evil Monkey was trolling me about this, but apparently they've done some sort of deal with Krispy Kreme and there's an Xbox donut coming. And the thing is, it would come from anybody but Evil Monkey, I'd have believed it instantly, but because it's evil, I really don't know.
This is what you have to put up with. Coming on the 29th of July, that's today, you can go home. Lethal League Blaze is coming to cloud, console and PC. Omno is coming to cloud, console and PC. Project Wingman is on PC today. The Ascent arrives today as well. 12 Minutes comes on August the 19th for PC, Cloud, and console. And Psychonauts 2, of course, is coming for PC, Cloud, and console as well. Looking at those dates, there will be more at the start of August. The release of Game Pass announcements is as bad as their games are gold.
They're absolutely at it.
When you try and find out what's coming in Game Pass, you get a whole host of jumbled up information, and you have to try and guess which is true and which is just people speculating and things. But they tend to release something about the start of the month. You know, they'll say in the next couple of weeks you're getting this. But then bigger things like Psychonauts 2 they announce further down the line.
Well, that must be a launch day
one?
Game Pass edition, yeah.
I think so. I think so.
Nice.
The donut thing is real.
The donut thing is legit. I've just looked at them. They do look delicious.
Are they green and white?
Yeah. They're sort of like white powder with the green.
So wait, I thought you meant they were releasing an Xbox shaped like a donut.
No.
And I was
no.
That's
that would be
not
ridiculous.
Very good.
What does an Xbox donut taste like?
Green.
It tastes like green. That's no what kind of description is that?
It tastes green. Disappointing exclusives, with the exception of Sea of Thieves.
Lime and salt.
Lime and salt.
Like sweaty gamer.
That sounds like the most disgusting donut I've ever heard in my life.
Let's be honest, an Xbox donut, if it would taste like Doritos and Mountain Dew.
Aye, that's a good description.
Nah, I'm going with lime and salt. Because it's Xbox. Because like Xbox gamers tend to be like teenage boys, like just going straight out of stereotypes. So teenage boys are like notoriously bad for showering, but they like to they use like old natural shower gel. So that's your lime, and then the saltiness for their tears for crying for getting headshotted by girl gamers and COD, and then abusing them online, and the girls are like, suck it.
That's a beautiful journey into your mind there, Blinderboy.
Yep. This is also why I don't make donuts.
Also why you're not partnered with Xbox.
Yeah,
that's true, sir.
Right, here's your subbies. Subbies. Give us a tune. Blunderboy, come on, give us a tune.
Subbies. I can't remember the words. I did write them down. I'll do it for next time.
Well, that was
I'll have a backtrack and everything because we know who's hosting next time. So
there you go.
They love a subby.
He loves a subby. Games of gold. Here you go. Right now, there's a lot, so buckle up. Get the seatbelt on. I'm going to fly through them. So you've got a wee pool for the end of the month. First to the 31st of July, you've got Planet Alpha. Then to the 15th of August. You've got that kind of be for the 15th of August. Conquer Live and Reloaded. To the 31st of July as well, you're getting Midway Arcade Origins, and then to the 15th of August also you're getting Rock of Ages 3 Make and Break. Then next month you're getting for the full month you're getting Darksiders 3.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, Blunderboy likes them. To the 15th of August from the first you're getting Lost Planet 3. And then from the 16th of August to the end of the month, you're getting Garou, Mark of the Wolves. And then from the 16th of August to the 15th of September, you're getting Ukulele. Ukulele. Is that a wee kind of Banjo-Kazooie type thing?
It's a spin-off of Banjo-Kazooie.
Is it? There you go. See, I know some stuff about video games.
Those dates are inexplicable.
Do you know what I mean? Hopeless. PlayStation Plus.
I hope the donuts are better than the dates.
July, you've got a couple of days left for July on PlayStation Plus to grab a Plague Tale Innocence for your PS5. On PS4, you're getting Call of Duty Black Ops 4. WWE Battlegrounds, Virtua Fighter 5, Ultimate Showdown. And then in August, for PS5, you're getting Hunter's Arena Legends, which is a wee Battle Royale game, apparently. You'll also get Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville on PS4, as well as Tennis World Tour 2 for PS4, which I think I reviewed, didn't I? I think I might have.
Yeah. Hunter's Arena is also PS4, but I think you can only get it if you've got. You have to download it on the PS5, and then you get.
And then
PS4
you can
as well.
play on the PS4.
Both, yeah.
Yeah.
So not impressed. Not impressed.
I mean, yeah.
I got excited because I thought Hunter's Arena was the Hood game. Remember there was a kind of Hood
Oh yeah, it's out.
Oh, yeah.
what was it like? It reminded me of that game that
Robin
we
Hood?
played that we wanted to play.
Hunt
But
Showdown.
that's the one.
Oh, yeah.
Reminded me of that, but looked like it worked.
Mm, I think Hood had like hype the day before, the day of launch, and then it just flatlined
Oh
after.
man,
Like I've
disappeared.
not really seen anyone talk or play it ever.
No, I thought it was going to be quite a good streamer as well, but it doesn't seem to be. Games, we've been playing games. Where we go? Let's go to Colin. You've been away. You tell us about what you've been playing, Biggin.
Okay. Yeah. So, not massive amounts as I came back. Obviously, my usual efforts of Sea of Thieves and various other things. But I did pick up Green Hell, which was a game I had sort of admired from afar for quite a while. I had been wanting to try it out. It's basically stranded deep in the Amazon rainforest.
Whoa.
But it's like cranked up to to 11 stupid and difficulty. I have to say, it's pretty full on. The crafting systems, it's probably slightly more like the forest than Stranded Deep,
Right.
but it's got
Mhm.
that sort of realism of Stranded Deep. But the crafting takes a lot of supplies. Your food and sort of food and water and management, all that sort of stuff of your health and things like that, all take an awful lot. You need to look out for leeches and things like that. You have to worry about parasites and various other things from eating and drinking, and you know so it's a pretty intense survival game. It only just launched on console about a month and a half ago. It probably needs an update to sort of like really tidy up. It's a wee bit janky, but I'm really liking it. I've been playing it on permadeath as I usually do, and oh my god, it's unforgiving. I got chomped by an alligator the other day, got the fright of my life. I thought I was safe, and it literally just snaffled me. Um, it's really good though, really fun to stream. As I said, it's got a quite a steep learning curve, and it's not one of those games where it kind of the tutorial's very sort of story based and doesn't really teach you a lot, and then you're sort of just kind of plonked down there, and you kind of have to figure things out for yourself, which I quite like. Um, as I said, the crafting's really quite extensive. There's a lot of things you can build with it. Um, and yeah, I'm really liking it actually. As I said, you know, it's don't play it if you're scared of snakes or spiders or scorpions or piranhas or worms that can climb inside your body when you sleep on the ground, or or leeches or alligators or jaguars, or yeah, I mean literally everything that could kill you, you would be afraid of in the jungle. It's all there. um, but I'm really liking it. It has up to 4 player multiplayer as well, which I think would be really cool. I think
All right.
one of the things is the crafting takes a lot of supplies. Even a campfire, you're talking about 20 odd sticks to make a campfire.
What?
That takes quite a lot to do. I kind of think if you had a group of people, then stuff like that would be a lot easier. Building would be a lot easier, but you would then have to worry about the water and the food having enough
Mm.
to sustain everybody. Um, it's really good. It's really
Mm.
good. Um, so I'm enjoying it. Yeah, and that's right. And I see Daybreak saying you have to, if you get an infected wound, you have to like take maggots off the corpse of a dead animal that you find
Oh,
and put them on your
oh,
wound to eat
I
out
could do
all the
that.
infection.
I hate maggots. Maggots make me vote. Like I feel even
But
digital ones.
it's really good. I think if people out there, and I know a lot of the community are a big fan of Stranded Deep. If you're a Stranded Deep fan and you want to try something a bit different, and I would say it is harder than Stranded Deep. This is a more challenging survival game, but if that sort of survival aspect of sort of Stranded Deep or games like it really appeals to you, then this is another one to check out. I'm really liking it.
Mm.
Um, and also, I just want to talk about. I've not really had a chance to play this game yet, but I have purchased it and I'm going to be giving it a go very soon. In fact, tomorrow I'm hoping to stream a bit of it tomorrow evening.
Ooh.
It is Dread Hunger. Dread Hunger is available. It's Steam Early Access. I believe it's £19.40. I think it is at the moment on Steam. It's as I said, it's early access. It's going to take a bit of time, but basically, it's sort of it's like a first person Project Winter almost, or I've also seen it compared to basically Among Us meets The Forest, but set on a pirate ship in the Canadian wilderness.
You like a pirate ship?
I do like a pirate ship, and I've loaded up the game, and the ship is gorgeous. Basically,
Oh,
to paint the picture, you play it. It's a sort of I guess a sort of asymmetrical multiplayer. Basically, it's up to 8 players multiplayer as you play as the crew on this ship, and your ship is having to forge a path through this sort of like Arctic tundra, this frozen wilderness in the far north of Canada. Um, so your ship's working your way through there, and you have a crew of 8. But what you don't know is that 2 members of your team are actually thralls. So they're essentially the imposters in Among Us. So 2 of your team are actively, and when the game starts, they're not very strong, so they can't just start murdering people. They kind of get more powerful as the match progresses, but they sort of like have to help you, but they might want to sabotage your repairs or your supplies. They might want to feed you fusty food that will poison you. But you need to work out potentially who the thrall is, but you also need to get your ship. Your ship's a hungry beast for coal, and you need coal to keep your ship going, but you also need to build stuff and survive the cold, survive the food, and move your way through this world. And I think it looks absolutely fabulous. I am really excited about giving it a go. I think it will be a lot of fun. And yeah, I do think it. I was talking to Shumba about it last night on stream, and Shumba said that he had a look at it and said he thought it was like a first-person Project Winter. And I do see Andrew from Arcade also saying it sounds very similar to Project Winter. I'm really looking forward to trying it out. So if you're curious, you can check it out on my stream tomorrow night.
don't you advertise on this channel?
I'll be advertising on this channel. I'll be advertising on this channel. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, I think you guys were quite intrigued by it as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely keen to give it a go. I love my multiplayer, so anything that's going to be like that is quite good. Is it like is it Among Us in that you have to communicate?
I believe
so
you
can
believe
lie and things like that.
You're using chat. I don't think it necessarily. There isn't. I don't. As far as I'm aware, there's not like an end of round where you accuse somebody of being the imposter or anything like that.
Right.
I think they
Just have to do them in.
more.
Do them
Yeah,
in.
it's a bit more like, I don't know, like The Thing or something like that, or some sort of body snatchers thing where you don't really know who you can trust and who you can't trust. And obviously, at the very start of the game, you don't really need to worry too much about the thrall because they're not very powerful. But as the game progresses, they get more and more dangerous, and they could literally just stab you in the back at some point and kill you. So there becomes a point when it starts to get, especially apparently once some of your crew start to get picked off or things like that. And it's not even just that. There's wolves and bears and other things out there. There's the elements out there as well. That there's so many things that can conspire against you, and at the same time, you really need to keep coal in that engine and keep the boat moving.
A truer word was said.
I
See,
can't
that's
wait.
my
I think
downfall in games like this. I see if I have to be the bad guy. So like in Among Us or in what's that game? I was saying
the other one on the ship.
First Class Trouble, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's where you have to be the personoid. I'm awful when I am the personoid because I just end up being like, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't figure out how to get people to dead, and I just panic and freak out. Like I was like playing Friday the 13th. Remember, I never played Jason. I hated it. And it's to say I just get too anxious when if I have to be that bad guy, and I'm like, it's not me, guys.
You can always tell if Blood is the baddie because Blood is sitting there twirling his moustache.
Sharpening knives. Like, is it just for protection?
I'm looking forward to seeing that. So don't forget to check out Colin tomorrow night.
Don't you advertise in this chat? Oh, wait a minute.
Blunderboy, what have you been playing, son? You've been off your work.
I've been off, yeah. So I've been off this week just because it's my birthday week, and we're trying to get lots of stuff prepared for the weekend. But the kind of standout things have been I have been going back through the Tomb Raider Legends trilogy.
Mhm.
And we finally finished Anniversary, and we started Underworld last week. We'd finished Anniversary Monday, and we started Underworld on Friday. The most annoying thing about Underworld, it's the third in the series, it's the last in the kind of the trilogy. The most annoying thing is it's the prettiest looking. I mean, they're all pretty good looking games, but it is the best looking. But it's the worst gameplay wise, and it's a real shame because the story's
Mm.
really good and the environments are lovely, still hold up to this day. But my goodness, is the gameplay frustrating. Baker Boy popped in when I was playing it and then sent me a text afterwards laughing at me because it was working. So he had me on mute, but he said every time he just looked at the screen, I was rolling my eyes as Lara Croft
Oh.
died. And it was just the game design. The game design was so buggy, and it was funny because it's a certain level. And at the start, I went, I'm pretty sure I hated this level 10 years ago when I played it, and by the end of it, I was ready for launching my Xbox out the window. Um, so I've probably got another stream left of that to finish it. But I mean, it is enjoyable. It's a very good game, and it's a really good storyline. The three games together, and Anniversary is a remake of the first Tomb Raider, but in the new timeline, and it's done very well. It's like the same standard as like the Resident Evil 2 remake and stuff like that. Like one of the earliest proper remakes, a couple of generations apart. Um, so that's been fun. And then I joined a Grand Theft Auto role playing server uh,
Ooh.
called the CWC, the Cozy V Corner, and I'm just gonna lose my life to it, I think. I was saying to you guys here last night, I jumped on, I was like, "I'm just gonna go on for 30 minutes." 'Cause I'd been out for dinner and I'd had a couple of drinks, and I was like, "I just want to go on and see if anything's happening." 4 hours later, at 2 in the morning, I went to bed, after writing up legal minutes for a court case. And it's and I didn't even, like, see the message until the morning because I was so into my role playing. And it's one of those things like it's the Grand Theft Auto I always wanted to play because I have to follow the rules of the road and I just live a normal life. But what makes it so interesting is there's so many people in the server having their own individual stories that sometimes you get caught up in, and it just leads from there. And like the big temptation is there's a stream team for them. The temptation is to go watch people play the game, but then I'm like, oh, but then I'll know things. And I'm trying to make it's like playing Dungeons and Dragons. It's like you don't want your character to know, but you know. So then you're like, if you get into a situation, you're like, oh, did I force myself into this situation, or did this happen naturally, sort of thing. So, um, it's lots of fun. It's good fun. My character eventually wants to run a theatre and film company, but just now he's just a clerical assistant for a law firm. Um, the best clerical assistant in the city, I believe, I've been called. Probably because I'm the only clerical
Only
assistant in
clerical
this
assistant.
city. But, I do have a Vespa that goes like 30 miles per hour. It's the slowest thing ever. Um, and because it's like so it's really interesting, it's the Grand Theft Auto servers, but they've been modified by I mean, how these people have done it is amazing. The script writing, it just blows my mind. But, like, I keep forgetting what the buttons do sometimes. So, like, I'll still try and use, like, my M1 to click for things. And Jack Punk's got a character in the game who's a lawyer, and he was giving me a lift in his bike, and I accidentally kicked his bike, and it blew up. So then we were like, "Oh, the impound's just round the corner because that's where it'll respawn." I proceeded to then, every time his bike spawned, kick it 4 times in a row and blows his motorbike up 4 times in a row. And then I was like, "I'm just not gonna touch my buttons just now because I can't remember what buttons to get on the bike." Um, but it's so much fun. So the new server just launched on Saturday, so it's gonna be a week this Saturday, and I think people are kind of like, oh, it's slow to start, but because there's a lot of new things in the world as well.
Mhm.
The economy's not running properly because no one knows how much things are meant to cost and stuff, and there's a lot of new characters and a lot of new people trying to make connections. So I think a lot of new people at first are like, "Am I doing this right?" No, it's good. It's really enjoyable, and it's funny when you bump into people like you know their voice. So like husband, I bumped into husband, and I had to bump into husband because his ears weren't working, and that like he had an ear infection, which means for some reason his voice settings weren't right, and you have to try and fix it all in character. You can go out of character, but it's much more fun to do it in character. Diet Punk I've met in person. I've met Scott and Fire. But I don't know if Scott and Fire knew it was me he was talking to. Like, there's this thing where you think you know people's. It's so weird and funny because you're like, I know you, but I don't know you. And if I ever bump into anyone else, I might know. That'll be funny as well because I'm like, I don't know you. Voice that might sound familiar. But no, it's so much fun. I'm gonna actually have to like force myself not to play it the next couple of days as much because Dead by Daylight has a blood hunt on, so it's like
Yeah.
double XP just out the gate. So everyone's getting bonus blood points. So I need to try and split the time between them. I might have Dead by Daylight in this screen and Grand Theft Auto up there just in case anything happens. I'm like, hi, I can take your call. Oh yeah, like
I mean, you
so,
could be role playing as someone sitting in the office playing Dead by Daylight.
yeah.
And
Oh,
just
right, I'm
answering-
totally doing
answering
my
the
work.
phones when needed.
Oh, Mr. Krasinski, are you muted?
Oh, sorry, I've not been saying anything exciting.
Well, we can tell you. He's not. He's actually literally not saying anything.
I
Big
just saw the
ball,
chat there. I was
big
like, oh no. Like,
Everyone
you're
got an
in-
ear infection there. Everyone.
yeah, everyone getting ear infection. If you're inactive, you get timed out and kicked because I think it's just what people farming money and stuff. But
Okay.
as long as you tab in every so often and like move, you'll be fine.
It's brilliant. Sounds great. Sounds great.
So tell me this: do you have to? You don't play it like normal GTA, but can you be a baddie?
You can
like,
be, yeah, you
could
can be
could
criminals.
you be a
and
real
stuff.
proper baddie?
You could, but it costs money, like to get. Like you can't. Ammunition doesn't exist. Well, it might exist, but not in the form it is in the game. So
Yeah.
to get guns and bullets and a mask and disguise and them. So like last night there was someone get arrested for stabbing 2 police officers, and then the law firm were because they're a criminal defense firm, and I was taking the minutes to the conversations that are happening. And then they were like, "Oh, we've got body cam footage." And the body cam footage is if you're a Twitch streamer, you clip it and you send it to them, and they review the body cam footage
Like a bunch of grassies.
Well, and then parties kind of like, was that too meta? Because you're never going to get away with a crime if you're on camera. But then if you're disguised properly and you don't get caught when you run away, then the body cam footage is just so there's like
This is true.
it's
I
like
love
very-
that body
way-
cam. That body
would
cam
like
footage
to
last
do
night was
something like
pretty incriminating.
Oh, did you see it? I
did
mean,
see
I was.
that.
I was like, I'm not a lawyer, and even I know that's pretty obvious. It's like,
Watching Dando watching it was very funny.
I would love to see. I'd love to see if somebody like became a serial killer. I don't know how that would even work.
So,
how you would do it, but it
you'd
would
need
be
to.
awesome.
The serial killer thing would need to be worked with the admins, I think, because you can't kill people's in-game characters without
Yeah,
permission.
exactly.
But
But
you,
you
could
know, like,
create a story, like
well,
there
you
are
know
things
that way
like
where
that.
they did it with the wrestling. You know, like in
Yeah.
the wrestling where they like wrote
Mhm.
a season, so you could potentially like write in some big character deaths. But
Yeah.
it would be amazing if somebody was. I mean, I'm giving it out. Somebody's going to now take this and run, and if they do, y'all heard it here first.
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
Um,
as well, like everyone's got
I
a
think it'd
certain
be cool.
character slot now, so you could say maybe a bunch of people could use a set of characters just to be victims that for a one-off sort of thing, or like
There was a thing in the first server, the previous incarnation of this, where it was Mr. Frost, I think his name was, or something like that.
yes,
And it was essentially a kind of Charles Manson type figure, I think, who was kind of, gathering people and that kind of thing. So, I mean, it's the whole, it's as you say, Colin, it just needs people to run with the story.
yeah,
A group of people, and as you say, Gary, with the second characters.
yeah. You could work things out because I don't think I'll play a second character who's an actual big persona. I see my second character being somebody who does little things, or
A wee
And then
film.
I'll come in as a serial killer. and kill it.
maybe somebody's like, I need somebody
He's
to
so
get
keen.
murdered.
He's so keen.
I'm filling in my application.
It's just, I love how in 10 minutes you've gone from I don't have time for this to I'm in.
Jamie, I do
All
not have a
in.
lot of time.
But
But I'd quite like to come in and ruin your server for you.
But in the first day, well, this is the thing. In the first day, me and Di Punk's character were trying to fix my broken Vespa, and a car pulled up, and 2 guys got out of masks and kidnapped Di Punk's character.
What?
Oh.
And since then, the person in the clown mask has been causing havoc, and no one knows who they are.
Oh.
So this is like, so
Oh,
people are building like just kidnapping and stuff, or like shooting people in the street for nothing.
Somebody's
Or so
escalating. Someone is escalating. This has got serial killer written all over it. It's only a matter of time.
Look for the clown.
yeah. So if you see something in a clown mask, then you just need to just run away.
Run.
And there's someone who appears at night dressed as a fox and goes around acting like Fantastic Mr. Fox. He get tasered for raiding the bins by the police. Like it's mental. Like, but I think these are people setting characters, and then they've got their main character who does their main role play, and then they've got these daft side characters who are just there for them to add spice to the setting. I think that's what I think to me that's what the set characters should be for, rather than I'm going to play 2 totally not straight characters, but 2 characters who could be influential in storylines. Whereas you could, I think, just setting characters somebody's just there to be a little bit like a wild card.
It sounds really cool. I'm gonna have to check it out. I've not really. I mean, I genuinely do not have time for this, and it is the sort of thing that scares me because I think it could be a take over your life sort of thing, and I've got enough take over your life stuff to deal with.
I highly recommend if Blunder starts streaming it, watch Blunder. But
yeah,
if he's not streaming it yet, check out Dando because Dando's quite a big character in it. So she's always doing really interesting stuff, and it gives you a flavour of what can happen. It's really good.
I've
fun.
watched Guspo do some of it. I was watching Guspo do a wee bit of it. Guspo's.
Is he a cop now? Is that...
No, he's a newspaper.
Oh, he's
reporter.
Weasel News, isn't he?
News. Oh, we love Weasel News. We love Weasel News.
But Guspo was in my chat one time, telling me all about it and saying it's literally taken over everything.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's the thing.
Because he
Mark
finished
was
playing
like,
and then he's
remember,
sitting
it's not a
writing
real
up
job.
articles.
Yeah, I've been making spreadsheets and document folders, and as if I actually work for a lawyer. I was on a website googling legal terms, and I was like, "So how does this form?" And I was like, "What am I doing? What am I doing? I'm not actually getting paid real money for this." I was like, "I'm glad it's for summer holidays. When I go back to work, I'm just never going to sleep."
I think I'll just be a pirate. I'll just stay with being. Could I be a pirate in it? Could I be a pirate?
you could be like Steve the Pirate for Dodgeball. You could do
just
that.
Down at the dock. Just down at the dock. There's Captain Shambles down at the dock. He does nothing but just piratey stuff down at the dock.
Speaking of pirates, though, Blinda Boy, you did Telltale 3 with me.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, look at me in that vest.
I know that's
That's
not
a
me.
good look. Why am I wearing that?
That's not me.
Well,
Besides you, just so everybody knows, that's not me. Although
It's like,
Colin did appear on my stream this week. Colin started my stream.
I did.
Aye.
I did.
No, we
Jumped
got
on
fun.
the stream and there was nobody there to see it.
No regular stuff.
oh.
It was the best joke ever that nobody saw.
I know. It's like a metaphor for my career. Perils before swine.
What did you think of Telltale 3?
Fudgy, you were there. Fudgy, you were there.
Fudgy was
Telltale 3. We literally just did it.
Telltale 3 is not the one you're looking at right now. That's actually Telltale 3.
That's why I get confused.
We were
Telltale 3 is
rolling
the
down the
proper
bayou.
pirates.
Yeah,
proper
down the
Pirates of the
bayou. The
Caribbean
bayou
one,
was really
yeah.
cool. And then we did the ride. Of course, we did the ride. I got really excited for like 20 minutes.
Mhm.
And you were like, I didn't do this. I was like, we're doing it now.
Oh, aye.
It's
And I
brilliant.
solved all the puzzles really quick, which you were impressed with.
I
Remember that?
was. Yeah. Well, all but one.
Oh, yeah, the most difficult puzzle. Jump. Like, did you see this, Colin?
I haven't seen the clip or anything, but
Right.
Paolo did tell me it did make me laugh a lot.
So I had my magic lamp and I had my compass and I'd been doing things really quick and we kind of got up to this, what's it called? Defense tower?
That was like a fort, wasn't it? Yeah.
A fort, yeah. Like, so the kind of, and there's a big hole and I was like, well, that's too big to jump. I was like, but the compass is pointing. I was like, but if I had to light things with past couple of things, like, what if I had to light? And I must have done a circle of the fort about 4 times. And then eventually I was like, right, Paul, what? Give me a wee hint. And he's like, you're overthinking it. And I was like, we don't just jump. And jumped and was like, oh, we jump. And I mean, you did go, you can tell you're a puzzle game player because you're trying everything but the obvious. It's like,
everything. I mean, like literally, you'd walk up to a thing, go, right, okay, I need to cut this. Yes, there we go, and I'll move this, and da. Like, no, running, beat 'em. Running and
jumping, absolutely no. Don't know how to do that. But no, I liked it. We did have to do with Jack Sparrow a bit more, but that was fine.
I tried to kill Jack Sparrow.
He's
No bit
not
of sense.
fan.
I should
He's
set
not
Paul
fan
on
Jack
fire.
Sparrow.
He did. He set me on fire. Trying to
get to Jack Sparrow.
Unbelievable. Let me tell you, I've been playing, guys. We're running out of time. I've been trucking at my nut. I have been. I get a wee bit addicted to Euro Truck Simulator because it's got a convoy in it now. So they put in the official multiplayer. So myself and Jabrias have been kind of driving about together doing the same jobs. That's me ramming at the back of Jabrias and the footage. And it's so much fun. It's just so relaxing. It's it's flight sim on the ground. It's just really nice and chilled, and it's great to just drive about and chat nonsense. It's really good fun. And I've started Halo, which is I've had to put these clips in really quickly. By the way,
are you singing?
Was that the clip of you falling asleep at the wheel?
No, that wasn't me. I did fall asleep at the wheel.
Did you fall asleep on stream? Did you actually fall asleep on stream?
Well, no. It was the day I had my Jag. Right, I got my second Jag, and I was like, I feel really weird. I feel like I can't quite concentrate. And then I went out and I got a drink of water and all. I'd put a Be Right Back on and got out, and I was speaking to Sherry Bobbins, and she was like, "Oh, my friend said it was like somebody was driving the vehicle, but you weren't in it," kind of thing. And I was like, that's what it feels like. It feels like somebody's controlling me, and I'm just a wee bit kind of drifting away, blah blah blah. And then at one point I was driving along the road in the night, and it's got the nice chill music on it, boom 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 boom, and I could feel myself. I felt my eyes just go, and what I thought I did was actually do a nodding dog, like my whole head had went, and I thought, oh fuck, and I put a marker on the stream and thought I need to go back and see what I actually did. I didn't finish it. It was off, I said. So I put a marker on the stream and thought I need to go back and look at that, and it's a kind of halfway in between just shutting my eyes and nodding dog. There is a kind of motion.
Do you do the head snap?
I mean, near enough.
It wasn't too bad. The eyes kind of go kind of cross-eyed.
It's a sort of.
I love how you need to send that.
Hellish, man. Absolutely hellish. Anyway, and then I was playing Halo as well. I'm playing through Halo. I'm going to play through them all for all my sins. I think it's going to get really boring, but we'll see how it goes. Because Halo 1, I keep having to remind myself it's 20 years old, but it's just a bit repetitive. The graphics, the locations are just a bit repetitive. It's just the same corridor and room over and over again.
You know, Pillow, you get through the games a lot quicker if you didn't stop to sing a song every 30 seconds.
This was because I sang a song and nobody knew what it was, and I was out.
What were you singing?
It was a Daft Punk song. Fudgy got it. Fudgy in the chat. He was the only person that got me.
Sing it again.
This is the game of love. Watch the clip. It's much better.
It couldn't be much worse, could it?
Outrageous. I'll get DCMA. That's that good. And that's it. So join me Monday nights for Halo, and then who knows what else.
More Halo.
More Halo. Halo, and Halo. Right,
did you get another jab?
Right, listeners, games. Right, the viewers, listeners have been in touch. Dan Satosa's on the Discord, and he's been playing God of War. Boy, so satisfying. When my second child was very, very young, Blunderboy bought me a God of War baby grow for him.
He didn't buy you it, mate. He bought it for the wee man.
Well, I tried to fit into it, but it wasn't pretty. Jabrias has been in touch as well.
Some things you just can't unsee.
Jabrias has been trucking all over Europe with me, as well as conquering the Mediterranean and the Old World. Oh, we've not even spoken about Old World. Old World had its closed beta, didn't it? And he's just started a playthrough of the Xbox version of Psychonauts in readiness for the sequel soon. And right this minute, I'm downloading The Ascent. God bless Game Pass, by the way.
It's very good. I don't use it anywhere near as much as I should.
It's the time. It's the time to play all these games.
Just because I just play Sea of Thieves all the time.
Jamesy42 says he's been playing some Sea of Thieves,
Yay!
9 Monkeys of Shaolin, and Raji, an Ancient Epic. That's a Game Pass collection there as well.
I think they're all Game Pass in there.
Enemy Hugh always reminds me of when we had to do the producer rap. Enemy Hugh was one of my markers in my rap.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was they were like a week at the end of a section, I think. And that was another relief.
Enemy Hugh was in my rap as well. Probably in yours as well, Belinda. I think we need to bring the wraps back at some point.
We'll do an anniversary. We'll do a year anniversary of it, right?
That's it.
A remix.
We could do a super mix where we all do it.
We'll maybe do one. Save Point's coming as well, so we'll maybe do it then.
Right,
we'll see.
right.
You just want to see me and Nicki Minaj outfit again, don't you?
100%.
Do we?
Enemy Hugh was saying, "Hey guys, hope all's well with you and with you, Enemy Hugh. I'm endeavouring to fly around the world on a whim with Flight Simulator on the Xbox Series X, which is working well, I believe, as far as I hear. I bought Green Hell when it first became available, but I haven't yet played it a bunch. Also getting my chill back playing The Long Dark, and still trying for Pirate Legend and Sea of Thieves. Keeping an eye out for some other games to sink my teeth into. Bought Skyrim, and I'm enjoying that for the first time as well. Ooh. I've still never played through Skyrim.
That's the reason why Skyrim is still selling copies all the time. Folk are still buying it because they haven't played it. It's astonishing.
What I must say, in Enemy Who, cover your ears.
Oh.
Skyrim's a great game. It's got a really crap end.
Oh, spoiler.
I finished it and went, I was like, is that
it's huge.
Is
how do you end a game that's that huge?
Well,
that's what I don't know.
The main campaign is one.
Yeah,
thing,
the main campaign story just.
It's got some amazing. Some of the side quests are really brilliant, though. There's a lot. You will enjoy it.
Yeah. And they did release that DLC, which I never played. I think, which it's like after the end, like it's like the. Maybe gives a better ending to it, but I remember being like, I must need to go back to some place, and then it was just like, no, you just did the game. I
think in the expansion there was an expansion about vampires that was brilliant, really brilliant.
Well, enjoy it, Enemy Hugh, anyway, whether the ending's pants or not.
Wanda doesn't know nothing, Enemy Hugh. You'll love it.
Scruffy's been in touch. Scruffy's been in touch saying he's been playing Flight Sim, The Ascent, and waiting for the Halo Infinite tech test to go and check his email again. Yeah, I think Scruffy was. Did Scruffy get? I think he was invited to the Infinite tech test.
Yes, he was indeed. He was.
So check that out. And I believe you can stream it, so I'm told. So keep your eye on Scruffy. Daybreak has been in touch as well in the Discord. They've been playing Sea of Thieves, Dragon Quest 11, Dragon Quest Builders 2, Worms WMD, The Sims, Astroneer, Atomic Crops, and yes, the studying's going well.
Yes, as you said, Daybreak got an Xbox Series S and is going but wild with the Game Pass.
But wild.
They said to me the other day that they genuinely believed they completed Game Pass, and I was like, quite probably.
Brilliant. And yes, if you want to get in touch, here's how you can do it. Let us know what you've been playing.
We'd love to hear from you. Find us on Facebook as The Nearly Men, Twitter and Instagram, where we are at Nearly Men, or email info@thenearlymen.com.
Yes, indeedy do. Where am I here? Where am I?
What are we?
Where are we?
Are we back?
We're back now.
Hey!
Do you know what I mean? Somebody just told me that there's something wrong with the title card. And I forgot to fix it. Forgot to fix it, alright?
I see.
Let's do some new releases for you, shall we?
Shall we?
Yeah, we shall. Elder Souls is coming out for everything on the 29th of July. Lemnis Gate is coming out for PC and consoles on the 3rd of August. Rocket Rumble for the PC on the 3rd. In Sound Mind for PC, PS5, Xbox X, and Switch is on the 5th. No, 3rd. Starmancer's on the 5th for PC. The Falconeer Warrior Edition for PS4, PS5, and Switch. And on the 9th, we're getting Book of Travels for the PC? The PSC, I was about to say there. Lawn Mowing Simulator. I sent the boys this one.
Yeah.
Lawn Mowing Simulator for PC and Xbox Series X is coming out on the 10th of August. Surely that's a Game Pass. Surely that's Game Pass. Godfall for PS4 is coming out on the 10th. Glitch Punk on the 11th is for PC. On the 12th, you're getting Naraka Blade Point for PC. And Force Closed for PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, Switch, Stadia. Hades is coming for Xbox One, Xbox Series S on the 13th, and on the 13th you get Paw Patrol Adventure City Calls.
Oh my god, we're waiting so long.
PC, PS4, Xbox One, the Switch, and finally also on the 13th you're getting Shadowverse Champions Battle. Gentlemen, is there anything that's been happening in the chat?
Well, I do a couple of things. I do see MJ Play Games has Skyrim 4 times.
There you go.
And she doesn't even like it that much.
She's off her nut.
But the things they get right are so right. Also on the whole Skyrim thing, Gavin Laugh says Lemmy streaming a playthrough of it got him back into playing it. I did see some of Lemmy's stuff's been very, very funny. I also see MG's excited to start a Femship playthrough of Mass Effect Legendary Edition because never played Femship.
I'm shocked because I only ever play as Femship.
Earlier on, asking about the Class B Corner roleplay, Andrew from Arcades asking, I could just be my sociopath self. Yes, you certainly could, Andrew. You certainly could. Andrew is a bloody sociopath.
I thought you were talking about you.
Oh, no, me? No, actually.
That was a quote. I see, right? Okay.
We've got lots of chat. I'm just trying to jump back and see if I've missed anything important. I did see Fudgy saying only Kaczynski came dressed for the occasion. Well, you say that, Fudgy, but I'm the only one that actually came dressed for the occasion, right? I've actually got a Nearly Men t-shirt on, right? We all have them, but I'm the only one that's wearing it, right?
Well, I was out working in the garden. I didn't know what to put on my Nearly Men t-shirt and get it all stinky and sweaty like an Xbox donut.
Well, you could have changed. You could have changed into your. You could have
But
changed.
I would have changed into it and got it stinky and sweaty like an Xbox
are
donut.
you
I'm
telling
not
us
showering before the podcast.
Well, just as well we're known Smell-O-Vision then. Know what I mean? Stinky, sweaty blunder boy.
Unbelievable. Colin, are you streaming tomorrow, my man?
Yes, it won't be on in the morning. I'm going to stream tomorrow night. We're going to try some Dread Hunger about 7 p.m. BST.
Excellent. Blunderboy, are you streaming tomorrow?
I won't be on tomorrow, I don't think. If anything, it'd be like a late night stream of maybe CWC stuff or Dead by Daylight. I mean like midnight late.
So let's just be clear. Blunderboy said he wasn't going to play GTA or CWC, whatever it was. I'm going to play Dead by Daylight because I need to play Dead by Daylight because of blah 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 blah. And then he's just admitted that he's going to go on late night.
I said I might play that or Dead by Daylight.
See, I was drifting.
But I'll be on Sunday for the Nearly Men Farm.
Lovely.
Which has been fun in Stardew Valley.
I'll need to try and catch it. I've not seen one at all.
Nearly Farm.
Sorry, there's an important question here from MJ asking how can we get Nearly Men t-shirts? The people want merch. I know, we're trying. We are trying. We've had a bit of a delay. We're going to get back on it to try and get it's been out with our control somewhat, but we're gonna get on it again. Hopefully, we'll have some news about that soon.
Is it even fibbing?
It's in motion.
Yeah, very slow motion, but we're working on it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 92. Just to clarify that, it's been episode 92 of the Nearly Men Video Games podcast. Let me remind you that MJ Play Games is going to do a 12-hour charity street for Women in Games International on the Friday the 6th of August at midday BST. Please do head over and give her some support. Tell her we sent you. And she'll send you right back.
She'll say, no thank you.
Episode 93 is on 8 p.m. BST on the 12th of August. That's 2 weeks from tonight. Please join us then. Colin Little, have you got anything left to say?
Ahoy, hoy.
Blunderboy87, if you get anything left to say.
There might just be 2 Nearly Men next week because Colin will be dead.
He pure hates that guy. That's why I have to do it.
It has to do it. Have a lovely couple of weeks, everybody. We'll see you streaming. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.